Hello, beautiful and exotic women of the world. Today I want to come on here to remind you all that if you have any unhealed mother wounds, unhealed female family member wounds, that is most likely the reason why female narcissists out in the world can't leave you alone. What does this look like? This means women who you come in contact at the workplace, women who you befriend or who befriend you, women at school, women in your extracurricular activities and your hobbies. These types of women who are narcissistic will gravitate to you because of your unhealed mother wounds. And I'm speaking from this from a place of experience because my own mother is a narcissist. She was my first bully. She was horrible to me as a child. I have little to no recollection of good memories with her. And so I can speak about this because I lived it. I survived it, rather. And I've also survived female narcissists outside of my family who have befriended me on false pretenses, who have hurt me, and who have kind of run off and continue to live their life, almost stealing my personality, stealing my destiny, and just breaking my heart because I genuinely had love for some of these women. Others, I kind of allowed the situation to kind of end and I knew what it was, so I didn't really care. But in some of the instances, I really had no idea that they were female narcissists to begin with and that they were going to do what they did to me. So let's talk about the signs, and let's also talk about ways we can combat this and heal our mother wounds. Some of the main signs that you're dealing with a female narcissist within your friend group or with just a friend that you have is she will have the Jezebel spirit. So part of her may be very promiscuous. She tends to not know her value and her worth when it comes to her sexual energy. She would sleep with someone's husband, someone's boyfriend, someone's fiance. Every time you turn around, she has a new partner, a new sexual partner. Every time you turn around, she's cheating on her husband or her spouse or her boyfriend. She just cannot keep her legs closed no matter what she does. Every time you guys go out, it's always about how can I get next to men? How can I be seen by men? How can I be approached by a man? It's never just about having fun and whatever happens, happens. She will also tend to be very competitive with you and comparative. So nothing in her life is ever good enough. She always has to look to you for what you're doing, what you're accomplishing, the things that you have your hand in so that she can kind of get a leg up and a one up and do the same things you're doing. Part of that comes from insecurity. Another part of it is literally just her being possessed by a demon that simply just does not allow her to see the value in herself, and it causes her to have falling outs with all of the people she comes into contact with because she's constantly looking to have other people's lives. She's a covetous. She has a covetous spirit, and it won't allow her to have her own identity. She's going to constantly compare herself to you and compete with you. Another sign of a female narcissist is she will be very conniving, very backhanded. She'll be very passive aggressive with her aggression with you. So that's why it can be very hard to kind of pinpoint and target who these women are, is because they hide it really well. They're really good at keeping their disdain for you hidden until they get what they need from you, and then they show their ass. That's when the mask drops off, and that's when we hear these terms like discarding phases and things like that. That happens not just in romantic relationships but with platonic relationships as well, where there will be women who discard you. They begin to discard you by dropping the mask. Suddenly, they're talking to you crazy. They're being rude to you. They're not hiding who they are anymore because they got what they wanted from you, and now they can actually be who they truly were this whole time. Another sign of a female narcissist is she is always jealous of somebody. Every time you turn around, she's talking about someone, she's gossiping about somebody. We all know that person who every time they call, it's to talk about somebody else. It's never to check in, talk about what you guys are doing to better your lives. It's never a productive conversation. It's always about what the next woman or next man has going on. And that's just because she's feeding her own insecurities and her own flesh by just discussing things that are not her business or that she really shouldn't be talking about. Another sign of a female narcissist is she will try to pin other people against you. So she gets a kick out of triangulating people just like male narcissists do. So she will, if you're in a friend group, she will try to get the other girls to not like you. If she's deciding to target you for whatever reason, she will speak poorly of you to other people. But then when you come around, she'll act like a complete saint and like she really wants you around. Whole time she hates your guts. So that's what she'll do. She will try to create division wherever you are, even if you're not in a friend group. Like I spoke about this in a previous video about this Karen who is at my dance class who has kind of infiltrated me and this other girl's conversation multiple times. And now suddenly her and the girl are best friends. And she has kind of worked her way in to try to stop me from having a friend, which was the girl that I was originally chatting with at my dance class. And, you know, who knows what she's telling the girl now. But now all I know is it's awkward. The energy is weird between me and the girl. And I know it's because the female narcissist, who I also named Hunchback Hannah, has come in between the two of us and is probably telling a lot of lies or just trying to tarnish my name and make me look bad to this person so that I don't have an ally or a friend. And so that's what these types of women do. They thrive on chaos and confusion, and they try to divide at any point they can. And you know, that's just what they do so that they can feel like they're above people, so that they can feel like they're in control of situations, even though it had nothing to do with her. She just inserted herself. That they still get supply from doing that to other people's connections and relationships and friendships. And finally, the last sign that I'm going to talk about today that you will know someone is a female narcissist is they hate on you for no reason. So we all know that one woman who literally you didn't speak to her a day in your life. You know, you don't have any history with this person, but for whatever reason, she is just so bothered by you. The demons in her are disrupted by your spirit, by your light, by your beauty, whatever the case may be. She just has a problem with you. And we all know people like this, you know, you never spoke a word to them, but they literally hate your guts. That's another sign. So I want to talk about the ways we can heal our mother wounds so that we don't attract these types of women into our lives. So we need to understand that when we have narcissistic mothers or narcissistic female family members who were in our lives at a very young age, we need to understand that there was damage done at a very rudimentary seed level, ground level, foundational level of our lives. And that is why we are the way we are today. And that's why we're attracting women like them. We have been conditioned to believe that that is what a female connection should be, when in reality, it is not. It is toxic, it is harmful, it is chaotic, and it is unhealthy. And we have to really rewire our brains to understand that someone talking over you, someone trying to pull focus when you should be the main focus in that moment, someone trying to compete with you, someone trying to divide you and another person, someone gossiping all the time to you or about you. These are signs that we need to look out for, and we need to understand that if someone in our family normalized these behaviors at a young age, we internally, even though we may not do those things or partake in those things, we may internally think that it is a normal part of female friendships or a normal part of how women interact with each other. And that is simply not the case. So the second that you come to that realization that, that's not okay, that's not cool, that shouldn't be normalized, that shouldn't be something that we are accepting, that's when you can start to peel back the layers and heal those wounds so that when it does show up in your life, when it does try to rear its ugly head, you can snip it in the bud because you know that that is not healthy and that's not something that you welcome into your life and into your reality. Another way to heal your mother wounds is to be honest with yourself about the relationships that you still have with your mother or with female narcissists in your own family. So are you the type of woman that feels like you need to have your mom around even though she was your first bully, even though she still low-key bullies you, even though you're a grown adult? You know, do you feel like you still need to keep your mom around even though she tries to harm you emotionally, psychologically, mentally? What is holding you down to having your mom? Is it that people try to guilt you into being close to your mom or your grandma or your sister? Is it that you have this fear that you're going to be missing out on their life? Are you hoping that maybe they'll change? You know, get real about why you may still have that female family member in your life still, and really evaluate the pros and the cons. Really do a cost-benefit analysis of that relationship and really think to yourself, is it healthy? Is it beneficial to me to have this person in my life? If the cons outweigh the pros, you know what to do. There's no therapist that you need to go to figure that out. If your mom is toxic, if you've tried and tried and tried with her, which a lot of us have, I know a lot of us who have come from narcissistic homes, we have tried time and time again to get our parents and our mothers to see their wrongdoing, and they are in a perpetual state of childlike reactions where they can't be adults, they can't hold themselves accountable, and they almost force you to be the adult. That's how you know it's just never going to work, and you should just stop trying. The more you try, the more you hurt yourself. And I'm speaking to myself too, because I have held on to female friendships that I knew were bad, that I knew were toxic, that I knew were just ridden with red flags. And it was because I was hoping and praying that this person wasn't who I thought they were. I was hoping and I was praying that if I just continued to support them and love them, that they would stop trying to subliminally attack me, or that they would stop being passive aggressive with me, and that they would realize that I'm not a threat and that I'm not someone that they need to compete with. If I would just cheer for them, they would stop trying to compete with me. No, that's not how it works. These people are leeches, they're energy vampires, and nothing is ever good enough for these people. So ladies, I just want to encourage you to protect your peace at all costs, whatever that means. I know it's not easy. For some of you, it is easy. For some of you, you got your freedom after a certain age and never look back and you're no contact. Some of you may still be struggling. I just want you guys to know that you don't get anything from these relationships but continued hardships in the future. The longer you hold on to that narcissistic female family member, whoever she is the longer you will continue to attract women like her and not know how to stand up for yourself, not know how to see the warning signs, not know how to avoid them, and not know how to combat them. So ladies, drop down in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box, of course, so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.